Okay, so this is a video to give you an idea of how Math 260 161 runs. So instead of using Blackboard, we are switching to a new learning management system, but you still access it through My Dabney. So you click on My Dabney, and normally you'd have to enter a password, but since I'm logged on, it went automatically. And in the past, you probably have gone to Blackboard Learn. So you'll have both choices, but we're setting up the class in Canvas. So you click on Canvas, and your courses will be listed, at least the ones that are being done in Canvas. And your section is Math 161 Pre-Calculus 1, section D1W. So you click on that, and you come to this introduction screen. So there's a course introduction, which will explain how the course is run. So you can go back and read that. Right now it's kind of in construction, so I'm not going to show you it yet. This video will be, there will be a link here if you need to watch it again. There's a course of study, which explains all the details about the course, and we'll look at that in a second. There are modules, which are all the assignments associated with the class. And there's a PDF file with office hours, which I'll show you in a second. So you can just pick home if you want to get back to the original home page. Just click home. There's a modules page, so you could get to the modules this way. You can get it to it on the home page. Course of study. Okay, so it's a PDF. Actually, it says it's a Word file. I'll change that to a PDF file, but so it'll open up in either Word or PDF or as an Acrobat file. So here it is. Let's just click Enable Editing so you can see this. So here's all the details. Here's my office number, my telephone numbers, my email address. These are the topics that are covered. To take the class, you have had to pass MTE 1 through 9 or pass the placement test. Just zoom in a little bit so you can see better. So we cover 4 chapters. Chapters 1, 2, 3, and 8. And functions and their graphs, polynomials and rational functions, exponential and logarithmic functions, matrices and determinants. Here's some of the objectives, things you'll be doing. It's not everything you'll be doing, but it'll be some of the things. I've already emailed you with the textbook, which is an old used textbook, which is very inexpensive. I'll show you how we get to office hours here in a second. So one key thing here is in terms of homework, all papers handed in should be written neatly and clearly with sufficient number of steps so that I know that you know what the heck you're doing, that you did I don't want to just see the answers to the problems. I want to see the solutions and the answers to the problems. Now, once you've completed the homework, you'll hold on to it until you take your tests, which we'll talk about in a second. But you'll turn them in with your tests. So you'll do it 3 or 4 times during the semester, and possibly at the exam. Now, the grading for the class consists of homework, tests, attendance, and a final exam. You're thinking, how do I do attendance? We'll talk about that in a second. So here's the breakup. Tests 55%, homework 20%, attendance 5%, final exam 20%. That adds up to 100%. 10-point grading scale. I curve tests based on past experience with other classes, usually. Okay, so the attendance will be determined by notes that you take when you watch the class lectures. So it's an online class, but in some ways it's just like a regular class, except that you can't ask me questions immediately during the exam, during the lectures, but you can ask me questions later. So what you do is you watch videos, you take notes while watching the videos. Why is that? Why do you take notes? Well, for one thing, to me it reinforces what you're listening to. And you can always pause the video if you need to stop. If I go too fast, you can always stop and do them. Then once you've taken the notes, you take a picture of the notes with your phone, and then you email me those, and those will be counted as an attendance grade for the class. It lets me know that you're keeping up to date on your assignments. I do want you to put the title of the section that we're studying, the chapter, and the section number in the book. So that's worth 5%. Testing, there'll be 3 or 4 tests and a final exam. You'll take those at the main campus library or at the testing center in the Rockbridge Regional Center. You're allowed to bring 1 cheat sheet to each test, and you can keep those and use them for the exam. So you can actually have 4 or 5 sheets, I'll let you know, for the exam. So keep your cheat sheets. If you do a good job, then you won't have to redo it. You can bring a calculator, but I don't want you to use the graphing capabilities of your calculator. You're like, how does he know if I'm using the graphing capabilities of the calculator? Well, typically it's because of the way you work the problem. So there are certain things that I'll ask you to do as part of the problem, which if you just print it out and try to get the answers from printing it out, you're not going to get the right answer. So don't think you can just plot the curve and get the right answer. And if I think that you're taking a shortcut and not understanding the material, then I'm going to grade appropriately. You can also bring some blank paper for writing stuff on if you need it, scratch paper. You need to show all steps as discussed in class to receive credit. So if you do it some other way, that means that you haven't listened to what I've told you. And so make sure you do it the way I tell you to do it, not the way you learn somewhere else. I'll email you about a week ahead of time of when the tests will need to be taken. So usually, say it's about the 3rd week, expect to take the test, and I'll email you about a week ahead and say, be ready to take the test between these 2 dates in the testing center. You'll need to make sure that the testing center is open when you need it. So you can call the library, or you can call the front desk at the Rockbridge Regional Center to find out what the testing center hours are. And here's some stuff you can read on your own about cheating and things like that. There's also the withdrawal policy. So if you're doing poorly in the class, you don't want to get an F, you can get a withdrawal if you do it before the withdrawal date, which is in the academic calendar. You can look that up. There's also here a note about satisfactory academic progress, which relates to financial aid. So you must complete 60% of all courses attempted. You must pass the class to have satisfactory academic progress. So you can read that. And because this is an online class, you don't have to worry about weather. It's no excuse. You can't say I didn't get my work done because it snowed. Okay, so that's the course of study. Let's go to office hours before we go to modules. So this is a PDF file. And what this does is it tells you what my office hours are, tells you where my office is, what my telephone number is, tells you when I have other classes. So you can come by my office if you need help. I can arrange to have online office hours. We can use a video chatting, video conferencing setup. And we can do it over the computer. So there's plenty of chance for help. And the modules. Okay, so this is how the course is organized. So what I have is the chapter. So let's click on the chapter, and it expands it. So in this case, it's pretty straightforward. I've got a little header. So chapter 1, section 1, read the chapter. Okay, so you read the chapter, you watch the lecture, you print out the homework. So the homework is a printout, it's not out of the book. So let's say just open that up and show you what it looks like. So you can download it and then print it. So you don't have to, I don't have to give you any numbers. You just have to print these out. You complete the homework. Then you go to the next section. Read the next section. Watch the lecture video. Do the homework. Okay, you do that for each chapter, and then at the end of the chapter, there should be a review video. Test 1 review video. So then you watch the review video, you'll make your cheat sheet. You'll have all your homework assignments done. And then you go to the next chapter. Now, there's also another section which has all the homework videos for all the homework solutions. So again, you should try to work these problems without using these videos. But if you need some help, you can always go back and do that. So there's no excuse for not doing them. To gain the maximum benefit, you want to try the problems before you start watching the videos. And they are YouTube videos, just as the lectures are YouTube videos. So that's the homework videos. If we go back to Chapter 1, lecture, you can see that's also a YouTube video. Okay, so that is pretty much the way it works. If you have any questions about it, I think I've shown you everything else. Again, you can collapse these by clicking here. So you've got Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 8. I don't think I put the exam reviews up yet. So you're going to, in terms of timing, that's another thing I haven't put up yet, but I will. So if you go to the home page, what I'll have is another link which will give you a tentative schedule for completing the class. Just another link. Okay, I think that's all I need to tell you.